Ransomware is a type of malicious software that holds your data hostage. Once installed on your computer, it encrypts your files, photos, documents, financial records. Everything becomes unreadable. The attacker then demands payment, usually in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. In exchange, they promise to give you the decryption key. Sometimes they pay, sometimes they do not. There is no honor among thieves. Let me give you an everyday example. Imagine you wake up on a Tuesday morning. You sit down at your computer to check your email, but instead of your normal desktop, you see a red screen. A message says, "All your files have been encrypted. You have 72 hours to pay $500 in Bitcoin. If you do not pay, your files will be deleted forever." You try to open your photos. Nothing. Your tax documents. Nothing. Your work presentations. Nothing. Your daughter's birthday pictures from last weekend. Nothing. Everything you have stored on that computer is now a digital brick. This is not science fiction. This is ransomware, and it happens to someone every few seconds. The first ransomware attack happened in 1989. It was called the AIDS Trojan. A biologist distributed 20,000 floppy disks to AIDS researchers around the world. The disks claimed to contain a questionnaire about the disease, but they also contained malicious software. After 90 reboots, the software encrypted the researchers' files. It demanded $189 sent to a post office box in Panama. The attack was crude. The encryption was weak. Security researchers quickly created a decryption tool, but it established the template that modern ransomware still follows. Ransomware typically spreads through phishing emails. Someone in the organization clicks a malicious link or opens an infected attachment. The malware installs silently. It may wait hours or days before activating. Once inside a network, ransomware spreads to other computers. It looks for network drives, cloud storage connections, backup systems. Modern ransomware tries to encrypt your backups first. If your backups are also encrypted, you have no way to recover without paying. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack affected over 200,000 computers across 150 countries. Hospitals in the United Kingdom were forced to cancel appointments and turn away patients. Emergency services were disrupted. Ambulances were diverted. Surgeries were postponed. The attack exploited a vulnerability that the United States National Security Agency had discovered and kept secret. When the vulnerability was leaked, attackers used it worldwide. A 22-year-old security researcher accidentally discovered a kill switch in the malware's code, stopping its spread. But the damage was already done. The total cost was estimated at over $4 billion. Here is an everyday example of how WannaCry affected real people. Imagine you are a nurse in a British hospital. You arrive for your night shift. The computers are down. You cannot access patient records. You cannot see which medications have been given. You cannot check allergies. You have to rely on paper charts and memory. Meanwhile, a patient arrives at the emergency room with chest pain. The staff cannot access his medical history. They do not know about his drug allergies. They do not know about his heart condition. Every minute of delay increases the risk. The hospital is not at war. The hospital is not being bombed. But a computer virus has made it impossible to do their job. In 2021, the Colonial Pipeline attack showed how ransomware can affect real-world infrastructure. Colonial Pipeline carries nearly half of the fuel supply for the United States East Coast. Gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, 2.5 million barrels per day. Attackers gained access through a single compromised password. The password was found in a leaked database from a different breach. The account did not have multi-factor authentication enabled. The company paid $4.4 million in ransom. The pipeline was shut down for 6 days. Gas prices spiked. Panic buying emptied stations. The FBI later recovered most of the ransom, but the disruption had already happened. Imagine you are driving to work. You need gas. You stop at your usual station. There is a line of cars stretching around the block. The station is running out. People are filling plastic bags with gasoline. It is dangerous. It is irrational. But the fear of not being able to get to work, to school, to the grocery store drives people to do strange things. This is what ransomware can do. Not by destroying things, by threatening to take away the systems we depend on. The most important defense against ransomware is backups. Not just any backups. The 3-2-1 rule. 3 copies of your data. The original plus 2 backups. 2 different storage media. Your computer and an external drive. Or your computer and cloud storage. 1 copy stored offsite. Away from your home or office. In the cloud. At a friend's house. Somewhere that cannot be affected by the same disaster. If you follow the 3-2-1 rule, ransomware cannot hold you hostage. You wipe the infected computer. Restore from backup. Continue working. Let me give you an everyday example of the 3-2-1 rule. You have your photos on your computer. That is copy 1. You also have an external hard drive that backs up your computer every night. That is copy 2. And you use Google Photos or iCloud to store your photos online. That is copy 3 stored offsite. Now imagine ransomware hits your computer. You wipe the computer clean. You restore from your external hard drive. If the ransomware also encrypted your external drive, you still have the cloud backup. You are safe. Take some time to restore everything. But you do not lose your photos. You do not lose your documents. You do not pay a ransom. If you discover ransomware on your computer, follow these steps. First, disconnect from the network immediately. Unplug the Ethernet cable. Turn off Wi-Fi. This prevents the malware from spreading. Second, do not pay the ransom. Paying funds criminal activity and does not guarantee you will get your data back. Many victims pay and still lose everything. Third, report the attack to law enforcement. In the United States, contact the FBI's Internet Crime Complaints Center. Other countries have similar agencies. Fourth, restore from backups. If you have the 3-2-1 rule in place, this is tedious but possible. This is the end of Module 2. Ransomware. Subscribe now. Stay safe. Stay calm. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for listening.